your eyes do the talking. Don't speak no more. 'Cause your eyes do the talking. You don't have to say nothing. 'Cause your eyes do the talking. You don't have to say nothing. 'Cause your eyes do the talking. You don't have to say nothing.
Hardwell on air.
Waking up to ash and dust, I wipe my brow and I sweat my rust. I'm breathing in the chemicals. I'm breaking in and shaping up, then checking out on the prison bus. This is it, the apocalypse. Whoa, I'm waking up. Enough to make my system blow. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new Welcome to the new age, to the new age. It's a revolution, I suppose. We're painted red.
Hello everybody. Of course, this is Briefcase, bringing you the first ever ESPL weekly series with my lovely and illustrious and amazing co-caster, Woosie Wug, or Mito, I believe. So, is that enough compliments for you?
10 seconds remaining.
Aw, don't stop right there. You can keep going.
I keep going? Okay, well...
Seconds remaining.
Test your vocabulary. See how many like flattering words you got.
I got a few, baby. I got a few. So do you think we're gonna see the Foxter is of course in this game? Do you think we're gonna see the Respect Meepo ban?
No way.
No, not too worried about it this time around.
Absolutely not. I think Snuggykins just wants to open up the pool of heroes. Yeah.
How do you
He
feel
just wants.
about these two bans already, though, that Snuggykins has already put out there? Queen of Pain and Shadow Fiend, pretty much never seen these two banned out outright. And do you think we're going to be seeing some sort of pocket strat or a secret little strat there that maybe these big AoE heroes could put a wrench into?
I think he just wants to open up all the possible pool of heroes, so
10 seconds
it's gonna be like a Imba versus Imba first two picks.
5 seconds remaining.
I have to say Slug and Elder Titan is gonna be around somewhere.
Reserve time.
You want to see that Slark and Elder Titan, and I feel ya. I want that as well. Have seen Elder Titan actually make it through quite a bit, though, or I should say make it through and still not be picked sometimes. Isn't always banned out, but would love to see a Slark. I want to see that Husker, man. It's gotta happen sometime.
Yeah, I want to as well. Just don't know when it's gonna happen. Yeah, like we predicted, Slug is gonna be the first pickup.
And I mean, I think Slark is one of those heroes, especially at least with the recent change to his ultimate, where he's basically completely invisible for 4 seconds for its entirety, and like completely unkillable. I shouldn't say unkillable, but very difficult to kill. He's one of those heroes where I feel like you can't pick against him anymore, not as strongly as you once could. You can maybe get a Bloodseeker in there. Who is Bloodseeker even in Captain's mode right now?
Yeah, he is, but no one bothers to pick him. And I think I'm starting to understand the first two bans from Snuggykins. He doesn't want heroes that can hit invis units without targeting the hero. And SF and Queen of Pain are two heroes that are very good at doing that. And that's why he banned out the Slug.
But of
That's why he
course,
banned out those two heroes and then picked Slug. Yeah.
but Bristleback now picked up, and he is terrific at that, especially in the kind of constant melee and constant craziness of a team fight that Slark loves to just ult into the middle of and basically tunnel vision onto a support or somebody else. Bristleback is very good at just punishing that, constantly getting those stacks up, and then by the time that Slark has maybe killed that first support and wants to actually tackle one of the bigger fish, like Bristleback for that instance, you know, he's going to have maybe 3-4 stacks of Quill Spray on him, so he's going to have to be at least a little bit careful of that. I'm not sure actually if Dark Pact gets rid of the Quill Spray stacks. It's like one of those very odd debuffs that is in this game.
It should, right? Theoretically speaking.
I think the thing though is that like recently though it was only given basically a debuff icon. Before you basically just had to look at the amount of quills in somebody's face to kind of guess how many they had and just kind of count it out. But now that it actually has a debuff icon, I don't even know if it might have been purged before, it might not be purged now. Hard to say. I guess we'll just have to watch this game and find out and give all the viewers that extra tidbit of knowledge against your Slark and Bristleback.
5 seconds remaining.
I had something in mind, but it kind of just disappeared.
Dire team ban.
OD is pretty good against Bristleback as well. Anything with pure damage. It'll be interesting to see how they're gonna run these heroes. So he continues to ban out heroes that can negate the
10
effect of a
seconds
Slug.
remaining.
Looks like he's just trying to make way for the Slark as best as he can, really. I mean, Bane, great at the crowd control, one of the best single target crowd controllers in the game, if not the best. And Slark, I mean, he should just be able to have a field day at the moment. Crystal Maiden, though, could put a pretty big hampering on that with just one freezing field as long as she doesn't get immediately targeted by Slark. And no matter how much Shadow Dance you have, I mean, freezing field is gonna absolutely wreck you if you're a Slark running in and out of a team fight.
Yeah, I've been wanting to promote an item on Slug. Mask of Madness. Wahaha.
Oh,
In
terrific
that
item.
4-second of invisibility, yeah. You can just steal so much stats that negates the negative side of
10
Mask of
seconds
Madness.
remaining.
I love the item, like, on Slug.
5 seconds remaining.
Well, Slark fits into one of those, very rare hero pools where he's
Reserve
not invulnerable, but he's very resilient for a sort of short locked period of time. Much like Void, where he's in a chrono, you're fairly safe, and you get Mask of Madness on him. Or if you're a sniper with a really good team that can keep you out of harm's way, you get Mask of Madness on Sniper because you're pretty safe for the period of time that you're using it. And Slark, of course, is one of those heroes as well. But now, Dazzle, actually, of all things, being picked up, and I can't really see why too much at the moment. Dazzle doesn't, in my eyes, really counter either Bane or Slark.
It just gives you the tankiest
Dire
bristleback
team pick.
possible. And Dazzle is such a strong hero in this version right now. Oh man, that Shadow Priest mid solo, Shadow Priest in any lane. Whenever the enemy wants to last hit, right, you just heal up the creep, and he's not gonna get anything. And the new Poison Sting is so effective as well. It's so disgustingly good.
And now, actually, Alina being picked up, pretty good at bristleback if she can actually hit his face, obviously. So I understand Lena, fairly nice, well-rounded little support slash 2-3 position there. I dig it.
Oh come on, this has to be a Husker pick. You look at Shadow Priest, and you have to say, "Where's my Husker? Where's the Husker?" And you see Lena. Lena, sure, throw your magic damage at me. I don't care. I'm a Husker.
And so
Come on,
far,
this has to be a Husker pick.
you know what? I know you want to say Huskar, and everybody, at least I do as well, want to see Huskar. But really, Huskar, not very good against Slark. Bane will absolutely destroy him. That pure damage from Brain Sap, I mean, his passive is going to do nothing.
In Shallow Grave we trust.
Yeah, I know. I suppose that's true, but still, Clockwork actually made it all the way to the 4th pick. Did not see that coming, and at the moment, I mean, the Hornet's Nest looking like an incredibly strong ganking lineup. If Bane gets some smokes under his belt, not to mention just Clockwork and Slark able to get some people, and I mean, this Dire team, they're gonna want to get a lot of pressure into that early and mid game. It looks like they don't scale too well into that late game.
Yeah, interesting. I think Shadow Priest just gives the lineup so much potential. And sure, you have 4 intelligence heroes, range heroes, who tends to be a little more squishy. All of that is negated by a Shadow Priest. But then once again, the Radiant side does have a lot of bursts. And they'll probably burst down a couple of heroes before the weave even kicks in. And now they need a big hero to complete their ultra aggressive lineup. If they had a bigger carry other than Slug, I would say Magnetar would have been a beautiful addition to their lineup. But because the nature of Slug is just not one of those hard late game carries, they might want to pick up something even bigger, like Spectre, maybe?
Of course, would help with the ganking as well. Is very, very nice for just, I can sit in lane and farm, and if I see a kill available, I'll take it as well. So, I mean, a nice hero in that respect, but I mean, they could go for the incredible late game carry and try and make sure that they have that rounded, and it looks like they do indeed. Jaro, pretty much one of the latest game carries nowadays. Everybody uses them for that flat cannon.
I don't know, I like Luna more than Gyrocopter these days. It just feels like Gyrocopter, he's been getting nerfed after patch, whereas Luna has been receiving constant buffs.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, then again, I always find Gyrocopter as just as a hero pretty boring for myself. But nonetheless, let's get into who is playing who. We have Kruger as the Crystal Maiden. Kloster is going to be playing this Bristleback. Pony and Claw going to be the Wind Ranger. Once again, he seems to really either like that hero or the Clockwork. Awesome Possum going to be playing this Dazzle. And it looks like we're going to be having Hodor on the Iron Throne as the Invoker mid. Going for a very ballsy little build there. Has his Blades of Attack in Tango, not getting pooled anything either. And if we look at this...
And on the Radiant side...
Yeah, do it up.
We have Final playing the offlane Slug. We have the Snuggykins playing the mid solo Clockwork. And we have a defensive tri-lane with Foxer on the carry Gyrocopter, Metric playing the support Lina, and Vox playing the support Bane. It looks like we're going to have a tri-lane versus tri-lane scenario.
Not only that, it looks like we might have an engagement early on as well. Awesome Possum with Shadow Wave. If he can spam it, does have a pretty long cooldown early on, 12 seconds. Looks like indeed Metric and Vox as well as Foxter running away. Not too sure. I feel like they have actually probably the stronger aggressive tri-lane here comparatively. I suppose the constant quills from Bristleback is maybe going to be a bit too scary. Do they have any sentries? They do indeed. Bane, Vox with the sentry. They must have seen this ward be placed.
The battle begins.
If they can get some early ward kills, I mean, that's going to mean so much for them.
Yeah, these two wards are pretty standard. But the good thing about them is they're spread out so far. Like, you have to use 2 sentries at the ward.
So as far as this mid lane is concerned, Clockwork versus an Invoker, who would you give it to? Invoker actually opting to get Quas first of all things, and that seems really odd to me, honestly.
It's pretty expected. When you see Blades of Attack Rush, usually it means it's gonna be a Quaswex Invoker. But well, it's definitely gonna start with Quas, but just don't know how it's gonna transition later on. Maybe he feels, hey, we need more damage. Then he's gonna go for Exort. And it looks like there's an engagement at bottom. They want to go on Cluster.
Gonna be very difficult, of course,
Or does
with the
Cluster
Awesome
wanna go on
Possum
them?
throwing down that healing, and this is what we talked about. That's gonna be a very resilient Bristleback, getting really far away from Awesome Possum though. Needs to get closer, but looks like they get the first blood on that Lina, and Vox now in a bit of a scary spot as well. Kloster, that Bristleback, or that Quill Spray doing a lot of work for him. Out of mana now, however, needs to be running for his life. He's trying to juke as best he can. Vox has a Brain Sap, and it looks like he is gonna fall now, so I would say, was that 2 for 1 for the Hornets? Not a very good trade. Actually, that was just a Gyrocopter for Alina, and somebody else fell, it looks like.
Yep, the Bristleback fell as well.
Right, of course. Gyrocopter getting 2 kills there. For the Awesome Possums 1.
Regeneration.
Yep. Looks like top and mid are both pretty even in terms of farm. Snuggykins doing a pretty good job at mid. Hodor is also farming away. In the top lane, Final is getting harassed pretty hard. But once he gets to level 6, then there's nothing much Pawning Colossus can do. He has to play defensively as well. But then at the same time, Final is getting some attacks in on Pawning Claws. Forcing out that Windrot. Oh, now this can be a potential kill if he pounces onto the hero.
It's going to be a long range pounce.
Nah.
If he could even land it. And
Yep.
I mean, if we look at this bottom lane, though, it's pretty even. Like, nobody seems to really have the upper hand. Foxter now, though, getting engaged upon. Awesome Possum can't quite heal Kloster close enough, taking a huge amount of damage from that Rocket Barrage, and Kloster's way too far forward. Awesome Possum with the Shallow Grave, however. This might be a dead Vox. It looks like Metric stunning him very nicely, though. Dragon Slave it is. Can't quite finish him off, and now Foxter right there with the Rocket Barrage trying to make sure. Kruger now trying to make sure Foxter does die, but there is no poison touch going on him. So with that, he's gonna get out of there, and I mean, he's doing a lot of work here for himself, Foxter.
Yeah, I think it's the same old problem with the Bristleback we talked about. Always getting too confident. The hero isn't that tank, but people just assume it is and just like man up, go in. I think if you want a pure manning up hero, in the early game, you should go for Undying. Now that's a hero that can go in and just say, hey, I don't care. I'm just gonna go in and tank everything.
Not only that, Undying is just so strong in the counter gank of him. You can pretty much never go on him and feel safe. If you try to set up a gank, if he gets like a decay on 2, a decay on 3, and throws down the tome, I mean, that's probably going to be at least a 1-for-1 trade. And it's just so terrifying to go up against, but we haven't seen much Undying in pretty much any of these games, I think.
Yeah, and especially he's no good against Gyrocopter. Flat Cannon just helps you kill all the zombies. And then you're gonna see like this Gyrocopter have like amazing last hits, getting like 300 last hit in 20 minutes because of the Undying zombies. Oh wow, that was some really bad luck. The first sentry ward not being able to de-ward the observer. And now the jungle camp is still being blocked, but they don't really care. They just want to fight tri-lane versus tri-lane. They're gonna be farming the heroes instead of the neutrals.
And it looks like that's probably going to work out for them, actually. Once again, like we were mentioning before, in pretty much every game we've seen him in, Bristleback way squishier than you think he is.
Yep, definitely. It's not a hero that I really like to see in an aggressive tri-lane. Well, at least not being played so aggressively. And it feels like in all 3 games, we haven't been saying anything nice about Cluster.
Yeah. Yeah, that has been the case a little bit, I have to say.
Yeah, but he did a pretty good job in the first game, I suppose. Oh, and a solo kill from Hodor.
Hodor getting a nice
On
solo kill there. It was a cold snap into a tornado, just trying to make sure that he didn't get away. He's taking actually a lot of damage from that tornado, and of course getting a lot of early points in Quas. That cold snap actually lasts a very long time, 4 seconds. Not any more damage, I don't think, but still very scary. And with Tornado, you can make sure you can get right up on them as well. Now it looks like we actually have Awesome Possum and Kruger trying to take out Snuggykins with that teleport back in. And you always do have Cold Snap available, and that will absolutely wreck him. He does have Hookshot to try and get out of it. And now it looks like Awesome Possum and Kruger, they might be in a really sticky situation here with Vox rotating around. They do see him, and now they're in a horrible spot. There's a sleep onto Awesome Possum, a hook as well. Snuggykin so close to death. Kruger and Awesome Possum now almost dying. Where is that shallow grave? Opts not to use it on himself. And now Kruger probably going to fall now as well. Battery Assault can always be used. Hodor on the Iron Throne, no mana to save his ally. And that's a 2 for nothing, I think. So a little bit of a failed gank coming out of this Dire team, and that's going to at least propel this Radiant team to have a little bit better of a goal graph. 700, very scary, equal in experience, however.
Yeah, that was great rotation from the Radiant side. I think they noticed the 2 supports on the Dire team in the aggressive challenge were missing. They're like, hey, they probably rotated mid. So they rotated in mid at just the right time and managed to turn the kill around. It looks like the supports are rotating top once again. They're ready to pick off Proning Claws. And I think he is going to die right here. Wow, so very nice rotations coming out from the Radiant supports. Making plays happen at mid and then going top and securing another kill out.
We have some rotation out of these Dire supports. Going to be spotted out, however. There's the call down, catching both of them out. Awesome Possum saves himself. Can't save Kruger, though. And Kloster not able to do anything. Awesome Possum might still fall. The Lina throws a hit. Not enough, but the range of that flat cannon guaranteeing that he falls. So this Radiant team coming out pretty far ahead here.
Yeah, they've been playing really well. That was beautiful call down from Foxter. Yeah, it feels like at this stage, the Dire team should start switching up the lanes, putting Proning Claws in the off lane, running Cluster, getting some farm on this Bristleback, and probably putting that Crystal Maiden in the jungle, just farming away, get the levels you need.
And now it looks like Final. I was a little bit scared for Kruger there, of course. Final able to pretty much solo him if he wants to, and Kruger needs to be really careful here. Only level 3, Slark's level 7, has less than 600 HP there. And now it looks like Hodor on the Iron Throne, trying to make something happen onto Clockwork. There is no Cold Snap available, Poison Touch now being used, and they can keep this going. A hook shot does land on his buddy Vox, able to just protect him. Cold Snap still killing him after he left, though. What was... Oh, that was Poison Touch, wasn't it?
poison sting. Yeah, it was the poison touch plus the cold snap, and it just kept triggering.
And that's what we were talking about earlier with Ogre as well. You just get a dot on him with Cold Snap, and you just guaranteed every proc, and it does so much
Radiant's
damage.
middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, it definitely did work right there, securing that kill. It looks like Pawning Claw is going to be trying to defend this bot tower, stopping all the pushes from happening. Oh, and this is a beautiful shackle shot from Pawning Claws. Vox is just going to transition the tower aggro back to himself.
That looks like Final might be able to actually get a nice kill against Kruger here. Will indeed pops his ult, gets the kill. Now he's actually just getting a lot of stacks onto Essence Shift, only at 6 so far. There he is. He's going to be popping that Dark Pact, and there it goes. Dark Pact does not take care of the Bristle stacks. And Final, trying to find the pig, can't quite do it. Now it's being really ballsy. In comes Crystal Maiden Kruger, is able to pounce out, but Hodor on the Iron Throne is there, and without any mana, I don't see Final getting away from this one. Indeed, he does fall, so being really ballsy, maybe a bit greedy trying to get this flying piggy, but nonetheless, falls there. I mean, Hodor is sitting at 1,700 gold. What do you think he's going to be going? Do you think he's going to be going to Midas? He's already got that early Void Stone to make sure he can continue to harass Snuggykins.
Yule Scepter. I'm guessing I'm putting my money on Yule Scepter. It seems like the obvious choice as to what he would go for. Typically, Quaswex Invoker, not many people go for the Hands of Midas. Because you just want to stop making rotations going around. He has enough levels into the Wex and Quas.
Now Hodor in a horrible
he's
spot.
Get engaged upon by
Nothing he can do.
A 4-man gank.
I was a little worried when I saw the Bane going, and I'm like, oh man, if he's level 6, he's got Fiends, and I saw him at level 5, I'm like, there's a chance. And then out of nowhere, Snuggykins with the hook. Slark was all over him as well. There's just no chance of that one. And now it looks like Kloster and Awesome Possum up top. Kloster very far forward for a Final who's running straight at him. Actually doesn't go for the pounce though.
Yeah, he doesn't even have boots.
Yeah, knowing that the supports are there and instead going straight for... Now he finally has his boots, realizing just how slow he is. Actually, I think quite difficult for a Slark to kill a Bristleback, though. Actually only has 1 point in Bristleback, would have expected a bit more, but when you do pounce on him, he just turns away, constantly trying to run away from you. It's actually kind of difficult. And now Final, looks like he's trying to get onto Kruger. He's got that Dark Pact going for him. Kloster needs to just keep running away from him, getting as many stacks as he can. Vox runs in, there's the Fiend's Grip. Metric doesn't have enough mana for the level... For the Laguna Blade, doesn't matter. It looks like Kruger does fall. Final after Kloster. Can't quite get him. There's the Shallow Grave, so Kloster doing a lot of work. And Hodor on the Iron Throne running in. He will have Tornado available fairly shortly. Fox not going to be living through this one, but will Metric does get hit by the Tornado as well, and that's going to be at least 2 dead.
Wow, that was so many good plays happening. Spawning Claws getting that super nice power shot, killing the Slug, and then that 2-man Tornado guaranteed them 3 kills instead of 2.
And Hodor, he pops the haste. Now he's just going to get a little bit of harass onto Snuggykins, throwing a Cold Snap on. There's the EMP. Doesn't have an Invoke available, and those cogs will guarantee that he doesn't go away. And getting hit again, that's the guarantee right there. And it looks like he's actually rushing. He's not going for an Ulz, baby. He's going straight for the Hex. Kloster.
Oh, I like this choice.
Oh my, the TP's coming in. Kloster, can your Bristleback keep you alive through this? I don't know, those TPs are pretty late. Bane's pretty slow, but with that extra little bit, almost dying there, Final to those Quills, however. Only thing living him is because he popped that Shadow Dance ult. Without that regen, that would have been a dead Slark and maybe a still alive Bristleback, but hard to say.
I think Bristleback was a goner, but he might have been able to track the Slug down the drain with him. But this Slug is doing work once again. Like, Slug is such an OP hero. If you don't shut him down, he's gonna start getting so many kills.
Now it looks like we have Vox and Metric trying to find a kill on to Hodor.
Dire's top tower
Metric might be
has
able to
been
actually
denied.
scout out Kruger in the jungle. Doesn't look that way, however, and Metric actually needs to be pretty careful here. He's not that
Dire's
close to
bottom
his
tower
teammates.
is under attack.
Is indeed going to back up. Oh no, wait, he's going to stay right where he is. None of his teammates are here though. Tornado flies, everything landing. There's the EMP. Metric just melting. Vox needs to be really careful now too. There's the nasal goo. He's going to be at least too slow here. No poison touch going down. Hodor doesn't have cold snap, doesn't have anything. There's a sleep on Kloster, but there's the poison touch, so he will be getting stunned up. 4 viscous nasal goos, 5's near the end there, and that's a double kill for them. And well, that's all happening. Excuse me. Looks like Clockwork picking up a regen rune for his troubles, but I mean, this is going to transition at least into this tier 1 being gone, I think.
Yeah,
Radiant's
but it seems like they want to defend this tower. And Metric, once again, getting caught out by the tornado and cold snap. Oh. That wasn't such a great choice to TP in into 5 heroes when they're pushing for your tier 1.
You know, especially when you're against a Quas Wex Invoker, you just need to expect those big tornadoes coming out and guaranteeing that you always get caught out. So now throwing down an EMP, Foxter already at half mana because of it. And in runs final, he pops the ult, can't do too much. Kloster now does get in the Cog's tornado to make sure that he tries not to die. He's thrown out as many quills as he can. There is the shallow grave, hasn't fallen yet, needs to get out of there, and lives because of it. Where is it? There's that rocket flare guaranteeing the kill. So a Slark for a bristleback, I mean, probably doing A-okay. Foxter now pretty far forward, needs to be really careful here. Hodor on the Iron Throne will have a tornado shortly.
Yeah, I think this is a good time. If we look at the gold graph, it's virtually at 0, and XP is just slightly in favor of the Dire team. I'm pretty surprised. Like they really managed to catch up in the past couple of engagements. At first, I thought I was somewhat worried for them because Radiant team it's a snowball lineup, and they got off to such a good start. But yeah, they have been managed to crawl their way back into the game.
Yeah, doing very
And
nicely.
Hodor, in fact,
I was gonna
yeah,
say,
he's only 300 gold away from that's a ridiculously fast deep stick.
now the longest tornado in the world flying. EMP being used, Cold Snap as well. He's all over Snuggykins. Cold Snap lasting forever. Not able to find the kill, but able to harass him, and probably going to want to make Snuggykins get as far away from that lane as possible. It looks like Clockwork's actually going to be going for a complete counter item. He's going to be going for an Orchid just to try and counter this Invoker now. And Hodor of the Iron Throne is
Looks
doing
like Foster.
a huge amount of work for this team. Foxter not able to kill anybody, and now a Shackle landing way too far forward. Going to be falling to this team of 4. Would have been 5. Kloster waiting in the wings.
Yeah, now he has enough money for that Hex Stick. But another build I like more, even more than this, is getting a straight Refresher Orb.
Dire's bottom tower
Because
is
now
under
you get
attack.
half the mana back from EMP. So you can just drop your Tornado, Cold Snap, EMP, Refresh, EMP, Cold Snap another hero. And that just burns like 800 mana instantly.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, pretty much take the entire team out of the fight. And Hodor on the Iron Throne, I think, is probably so far the MVP of this match. I mean, he's making plays, he's getting some big tornadoes in there. And there he is, throwing another one, hitting this Bane, and looks like Vox in a little bit of trouble. He needs one Cold Snap. Actually invokes the wrong ability, so sad to be him. Doesn't matter though, Vox will still fall. So despite the slight misplay from Hodor, I mean, he's finished off his Sheep Stick. He's got to have it coming to him soon. And with that, he's probably going to be able to solo kill pretty much
Dire's
anybody.
middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, they just sent the courier home because it took some harassment damage. And it looks like Final is going to go for a Shadow Blade. This is another great item. Probably the best item on Slark.
Kloster getting
I'm
engaged
pawning.
upon. Slark does find a kill. So sorry I missed it. Wanted to see Kloster. And it looks like Bristleback just too resilient. He's throwing out as many quills as he can. Throwing out those viscous nasal goos. Foxter just can't finish him off. And in comes the Shadow Priest. No chance of Foxter getting out of this one alive. And of course, especially with that shallow grave, Kloster not going to be falling either. And that I mean, that magic wand doing a lot of work, but not able to actually finish him off. While that's happening, final, gonna maybe find a Kruger. Does indeed, but he's gonna be falling to Hodor. Not quite, actually, just able to get out of there in time. And Hodor now Fiend's Grip, double ulted. Hodor in a horrible spot, and so sad to be him.
And final managed to pick up that double kill, and looks like Snuggykins 1 second off the hook. But Awesome Possum is here to save the day. So Snuggykins is forced to retreat, or is he? His teammates are right behind him. They're ready to fight when he's ready to hook.
I mean, once again, if we look at these gold graphs, still anybody's game. It's actually like 200 in favor of the Dire. Now the experience difference is going to be about only 1,000 in favor of the Dire. So, I mean, still anybody's game. You got Shadowblade now up on Slark, so these low health heroes, especially Kruger, need to be very careful. There he is, Awesome Possum, uses the Shallow Grave on himself, trying to make sure he doesn't fall. And that Shadow Weave doing a lot of damage as well, or Shadow Wave I should say. Able to heal himself up though with all of those magic wands. Final now, he's going to be falling. He's got no mana to purge, he's got no mana to pounce. While that's all happening, you have Crystal Maiden getting that kill on Slark there. Looks like Hodor on the Iron Throne being sleeped. He wants to chase this down. He's got his Wex going, moving at 428 movement speed. Throwing out a Blind Tornado, so close to hitting Vox. And the distance of that is just obscene, 3,200.
Oh, that shackle. That shackle is still flying towards Vox in the fountain.
Boom! Just landed.
That was so close.
Now it looks like Foxter has found a Kruger. He's going to get poison touched. And a call down. Kruger, I don't know why he's the one who's forward. Awesome Possum trying to heal him up, but Shallow Grave is not there. And it looks like this might be a double kill for Foxter. And it is indeed. Everybody flying in. Foxter now. There's the EMP. Metric doesn't have any mana. And I feel like this has been happening all game. Hodor on the Iron Throne. I mean, these EMPs, Metric, I've seen maybe one Laguna Blade, and that's it. She's just had no mana to do anything with.
Oh wow. Tactical. So tactical. Metric, what's he thinking about? How is he gonna juke this? He's got Arcane Boots. And he has a TP scroll. And a magic wand.
Right? Hodor
You
with
can pop
the 1 second away from Cold Snap. Metric definitely getting out of this one alive.
Yep.
He could invoke pretty much
Metric just
anything.
needs to make... Yep. I think at this stage, if I were Metric, my hand would be on TP scrolls. And I'll just buy up like 5 or 6 TP scrolls until I'm out of money.
Oh yeah, now is the time when you just spam your quick buy, try and get it out. He does have, maybe only buys one. His reliable gold is 600, so that's not going to be going anywhere. So maybe just buying one would be the best bet. But nonetheless, I mean, Hodor, you could invoke anything right now that you don't already have invoked, and you'll be fine. You could probably not. You could even miss this, this invocation, and you will be fine.
Yeah, he has a movement speed to chase down Metric anyways. Let's see, can any of Metric's teammates do anything? So Snuggykins, Foxter. Ooh, Snuggykins might be able to get in range for a hook. And if he hooks for the ultimate hook through the tree line right here, making the biggest plays possible. Like this sick hook all the way from this area. And then hooking onto Hodor. Biggest play of his life.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And if that's the case, I mean, I will be a hootin' and a hollerin', I have to say, but we shall see. At the moment, he's got actually his teammate blocking him and blocking that hook, so hard to say. Gyro doesn't have any mana either. He doesn't even have enough to use a flat cannon if he needs to. So
yeah, and there's a couple of creeps blocking in the way as well.
Oh yeah, this is gonna have to be pretty much the best hook in the world.
Does it? I'll give him a common item.
Exactly. I'll give him that card you gave me.
Hey, a bet is a bet. I gave you what we bet on, a common item. And you
Yeah.
said I even let you choose. You said you like Alliance. I gave you a S4 player card.
Right, pretty nice. Pretty sweet bet I won. You bet.
Yeah, the best.
It's like Wind Ranger now. disconnected and I assume reconnecting to fix any lag issues. So while that's happening, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in to this ESPL series, ESPL series, hosted by ESP Gaming. And if you didn't already know, there's an ESPL tournament upcoming. It's going to be a league with cash prizes. Anyone can enter. It's going on for all of 2014, and hopefully I'll be casting for it the entire time, along with the lovely Mito. And as far as I know,
it's unlimited signups.
There you go. You just join whenever you can, all the day, whenever you can, pretty much. And as far as I know, if you do very, very well, I mean, you'll probably get a chance to win. I think it's one of the biggest prize pools for an amateur tournament. And not only that, we'll probably be able to play against one of the professional teams I know you know and love.
Yeah, definitely. While we don't know what professional teams, but you can expect it's gonna be someone you recognize. So definitely keep an eye out, come and watch. And not only that, I mean, it's always a good thing if you get to play against professional teams. You get to measure your own skills against the best. And in some ways, I mean, what other tournament offer this kind of stuff? Sure, you have, ISO Cup. But ISO Cup doesn't offer us big prize pool, and it's monthly, whereas we run on a weekly basis. And so every week, you get to match up your skills against other teams. And there's bound to be so many teams, you'll always be matching up against different teams. And eventually, you hope to qualify, and I mean, if you get $300 every week, isn't that something worth playing for?
And not to mention I mean, you briefly touched on it, but oh yeah, metric falling. There's a cold snap. Oh, hook right in between two.
The hook.
Almost hit him, actually. So close. And now Pwn and Claw might be in a little bit of a scary spot. Is indeed going to fall here, probably unnecessarily. And it looks like Hodor on the Iron Throne just too fast. Final chasing him down at a higher move speed. Doesn't matter, though. He's always going to have Tornado available to get away.
And once again, we have the Boxster's SNY build on Gyrocopter. He always goes for SNY.
Yeah, why does he?
He must be a huge fan of Loda as well.
Just goes boots and goes
Because
for...
Loda always does it.
Yeah, boots and Saint Yasha, and then, I mean, I can understand it. He's sitting at 441 move speed all the time without even using a Drum of Endurance, so, I mean, he's incredibly hard to actually catch.
Yeah, Gyro, that's some disgusting movement speed. Yeah, but at the same time, his damage output isn't that great. For the same price, you can probably get a BKB and a Yasha.
True, and
Sure,
there's a
against an
big
Invoker,
tornado. Actually hits two. Metric running right into it. Snuggykins, there's the pig. He's not going to be getting out of this one alive. Beautiful Shackle. Hits Metric as well. Fallen, no ults coming out of him. Vox still in a horrible position, and that's going to be at least 3 there. And this is the tier 2, I would suspect, going down as well.
Hodor!
Hodor, just some beautiful plays coming out. Finally has 1 point into Exhort. He's going to have those big deafening blasts, pretty much crippling Slark and Gyro now, whenever he wants. And what is it? I believe the big old meatball, when you have Exhort and when you have Wex, it just rolls for a really long time, but doesn't do much damage, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm A-okay in seeing that.
Yeah. It would be a really long meteor. Yeah, but no one, like, everyone's scared of the meteor. They see meteors, oh crap, so much damage, move out.
Oh,
Looks
yeah.
like Kruger.
Oh,
once again,
a
is
beautiful
the
little
ideal choice of
combo
fighter.
there.
Oh.
There's the Shallow Grave and the ult as well.
Wow.
Kruger's still going to fall, though. Can't get away from it. And Final now, pretty much doomed as well. So that is a very good trade for this Dire team. Wind Ranger picking up that kill for herself. And this tower still slightly out of deny range. So sad to be that.
Yeah, but that was a good force engagement from the Radiant side. I suppose it did buy them some time to stop the tier 3 push. It might not have happened anyways. And yeah, 23 minutes into the game and we have yet to see a Roshan attempt. And the goal graph is still staying at almost 0, like virtually 0. While the experience graph, it's around 4,000 in favor of the Dire team. So yeah, the Radiant team are like by no means out of this game, but I just feel they have a couple of questionable item choices.
You talking about the no BKBs?
Dire's middle tower
Yeah.
is under attack.
Yeah.
That's something pretty big for me. And perhaps some armor stacking items would be very nice as well.
But it looks like with the itemization that Final and Snuggykins are both doing, they're instead opting to go for a very aggressive double Orchid, where if they can get at least one on Invoker, that'll shut him down. Final now looking for whoever he can, and it looks like Kloster is going right on to Snuggykins, and Final says, you know what, screw you. Actually, no, providing the little bit of a hookshot target for his buddy. Metric does port in. And now it looks like we have everybody down here except a Gyro. It's 4 on 5. Metric now barely enough mana to still have a Laguna Blade going. Throwing down some cogs. They're just waiting on that Gyro to come down here. Finally showing up. Big call down. Hits 3. Now only hits Hodor, but in comes a Rocket. Final right in the mix of it. Gonna have a million quills on him. Kruger, there it is. Trying to take as much damage as possible with that Shallow Grave. One Laguna Blade being thrown out. Final gonna be falling now as well. 2 for 2 at the moment. Fox just still going on. Flat Cannon doing a lot of work. Hodor now getting very, very low. Metric all over him. And finally, still hasn't fallen though. And Hodor, the only one living through this. There's a tornado. Hits 2. Foxter, missile running. Hodor needs to change over to these Wex little things. What are they called? I can't remember. Missile still on him. Needs to get going. Might actually kill him. Doesn't.
Dire's bottom tower
Doesn't
is
need
under
it.
attack.
I thought if that was
Well,
a higher
pretty-
level missile, might have gone differently though. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. Oh wow, Foxter was waiting for Hodor to move in, but Hodor was too smart for that. He knew that he might wanted to have made something happen. But yeah, I'm really surprised that the Radiant team came out on top. Because Snuggykins has already expended his hook to hook out towards his teammate, and then they don't have any BKBs to counteract all the damage, magical damage coming out from the Dire team. And I can understand the Orchid pickups. They wanted to counter the, they want to prevent the Shadow Priest from being able to do anything. Shadow Priest it's such a nuisance, and they just don't want to have to deal with it.
Oh, beautiful hook by Snuggykins. Finds the Hodor, and boom, an easy and free kill for him. Looks like Hodor sticking around with a little too little HP. And now Snuggykins looks like he doesn't have actually, he's instead going for that Orchid, so he doesn't have an Ag, so he's not going to be able to hook very quickly out of here. And Kloster eating up these cog hits, eats 3 of them, has pretty much no mana now, and Snuggykins is just waiting for that TP to come off of cooldown. If Kruger does indeed use Frostbite to actually get him, things are not going to go his way. Now Final going to be able to find Kruger. Awesome Possum is always there to throw down the Shallow Grave, however. Final actually going on to Awesome Possum. Doesn't usually want a Shallow Grave himself, obviously. And the Dark Pact being used now to get rid of that Frostbite. In runs Pawning Claws. Awesome Possum still living, though. Final pops his ult, trying to just tunnel visions onto Kruger, but still sees him. Dies, actually. Can't quite get through to him. Pawning Claws so low. Awesome Possum incredibly low as well. Kloster all over Metric. It still has a Laguna Blade to use, but falls to Kloster and the Quills. It now looks like Snuggykins trying to man fight 4, can't quite do it. And that's a 3 for nothing. So some beautiful plays coming out from this Dire team. While that's happening, Hodor all over the pig called Foxter. And Foxter actually picking up a butterfly now, so very resilient to the actual damage that Hodor's throwing out. Throwing a lot of right-click damage.
Yeah, I think that fight is a perfect reflection of just how powerful that Shadow Freeze is in a team fight if you don't aim him. They did try to pick him off, but they couldn't do it because Slog didn't have Orchid. And once they gave room to Shadow Freeze and they didn't have enough burst to take down heroes, he just healed everyone back up to almost full. And like, nobody died in that fight on the Dire team.
Yeah, nobody, exactly. And Dazzle now, of course, the more points he gets on that Shallow Grave, the scaling of that cooldown is just ridiculous, actually. Minus 15 seconds for every level. I didn't know it was that much, but, I mean, if he can get 2 Shallow Graves off in a single fight, which, I mean, if you are Bristleback, that's pretty much what you want to have happen. You're just going to be doing very well in that team fight. Guaranteed right there.
That's why with the buff of Shadow Freeze, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more Husker plays.
Radiant structures are fortified.
It looks like, of course, that tier 1 going to be falling now. Gyro going up top, trying to find a little bit of a tier 2 for his troubles. Actually, if we look at the gold graph now, still only about 2,000. Actually, it's in favor of the Radiant, despite that recent engagement for them. Still in favor. Was basically put to a halt by the Dire with that engagement, but I didn't think they would have been skyrocketing up that fast. And the experience actually in favor of the Dire, so, I mean, still pretty much anybody's game. They do get a deny on that tower up top, and, I mean, still, really, anything could happen right now.
Yeah, what worries me though is the Dire team, they don't have any strong right-clicking damage as of now. And if you look at the Radiant side, Gyrocopter already has a Butterfly, and now Slog, once he finishes up his Orchid, his damage is going to start to kick in as well. So those physical right clicks are going to start to deal a lot of damage. And the Dire team, they don't really have an answer to that, apart from the Weave.
Foxter actually did just pick up a Demon Edges now as well, so sitting for about 250 damage a hit, and with that flat cannon, I mean, Crystal Maiden will just melt. Slark, of course, will be able to have pretty much free reign of the supports if he wants to. Now they're going to be taking a Roshan, and Kloster should really be throwing out Viscous Nasal Goose on him. Not sure why he's not. It just minus his armor by so much, but nonetheless not going for it. Kind of odd, I have to say. Kind of odd.
Yeah. Another interesting thing is they have 4 Force Staffs on the Dire team. Even the carry, Bristleback. The only hero who doesn't have a Force Staff is a Crystal Maiden.
True, so I mean, very difficult for the Radiant team to actually lock someone down, but I mean, because you can always Force Staff out of Pounce, you can Force Staff out of the Cogs, and that's really, I think, what they're doing. If somebody gets Fiend's Grip, you could probably actually Force Staff him out of the range with 4. Would love to see it happen. But, I mean,
holy crap.
What was it?
Did you realize this is like the first game we've seen in a long time that doesn't have at least one Hands of Midas?
Oh, that's true. And Bronze is indeed telling me can't Force Staff out of Pounce.
Yeah, you can. You can blink though.
Yeah, that's what I'm probably
But if you get pounced, then... If you get pounced, then you can't blink anyways, because your blink is cancelled. Unless it's like a blink on Queen of Pain, those kind of heroes. Then you can blink, yeah.
Dire's middle tower
Righto, now everybody mass TPs into the mid, being a little bit scared of this falling, and every single hero actually TP'd up there except Kloster. He's going to be finding a stack for himself, and I'm not sure just how well Bristleback takes those. I mean, he can throw down Quills all he wants, but that's about it. And of course, as Bristleback, you don't really want to fight head on, but nonetheless, Slark has finished off that Orchid now for himself, which means that Awesome Possum is ripe for the picking in every team fight. And I mean, look out for this. He's just going to pop his ult, run right in, and just tunnel vision onto Awesome Possum, throw down the Orchid, and I mean, Dazzle might be out of the game now, really.
Yeah, they have so many Orchids to deal with the Awesome Possum. He might not be so awesome soon. He might be just a dead possum.
Might just be a
Oh,
possum.
it looks like we have an engagement on Foxter.
Yes, indeed. Foxter, though, getting stunned to high hell. No cold... Oh, there is a cold snap on him, just barely there. And now, Awesome Possum does indeed get melted by Final. That exact thing happened. Oh, Hodor on the Iron Throne now caught out as well. There's the ult by Lina to guarantee it, and 4 for nothing. All that Bristleback can do now is basically run all the way home. Snuggykin still no Ags on him, so no hook coming his way. But, I mean, Bristleback pretty much going to be, I want to assume, go heal up and basically sit with his back turned to this team and try and get as many Quills out as possible, because, I mean, he's just going to fall immediately if he decides to face him. And that's going to be at least 1 lane of racks for these Radiant heroes.
are under attack.
Yeah, as Snuggykins, he's really close to his Aghanim Scepter, as a matter of fact. Just needs that point booster, and if he sells the bottle, he would pretty much have it. Or if he takes his frags.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
Gyrocopter has
they
indeed
got so many 4 staffs.
finished off his monkey
Counteract
bar
the
as well.
hook, but
But yeah, true,
Oh, wow.
exactly.
Yeah.
Hook doesn't really matter anymore. The Force Staff's coming out. But there it is. It's always a good way to get away. Now Foxter being really ballsy all the way forward. Might fall here. I don't know. Kloster trying to get a lot of damage on him. Metric is there to provide a stun. Vox always there to give a slow as well. And it looks like Final taking the brunt of the assault, but his ult might be enough to actually protect him here. Does have Shadow Blade available as well. Pounces away from the Viscous Nasal Goo. Can't quite get away from the Tornado, however. Does pop the Shadow Blade, and now nobody with a way to detect him is going to get out of there scot-free. So, I mean, this Radiant team just saying, you know what, you can have the Slark. He's got a way better chance of getting out than the Foxter, and indeed he does. So I think some nice courage, if you will. Some nice, what's the word when you give yourself up? Oh, I can't remember.
Sacrifice.
Yeah, nice sacrificing by Final there.
Sacrificial.
Nice, thank you, Bronze. Always there to help me as well. Nice sacrifice coming out of Final there, but not really, I mean, not really losing anything from it either.
Yeah, that's from Bronze. The stats man who gives no stats. That's the kind of guy you want.
That's the kind of guy you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, this Bristleback does absolutely nothing pretty much. Can't really tank for them, and he does so little right-click damage compared to what Foxter is doing, or even what the Slok is doing. Final, he's starting to get big as well, and he's making his way towards that. I'm guessing it's gonna be a Scotty.
Foxter is getting pigged. Beautiful shackle on Metric and Foxter. Foxter might not get anything this entire engagement, doesn't indeed, but Final is always there, and his Essence shift stacks are just skyrocketing. Pounce now available, gets Hodor. Final, though, just pops his ult, doing fine, and the Bristleback, the Aegis is popped, doesn't really matter, though. Final able to just continue, still sitting at 16 Essence stacks, and now this Rocket flying after Poning Claws. I just assume Kloster will fall. Bristleback might be able to actually take down a Snuggykins, doesn't look that way, though, and it looks like you have Final. Chasing after whoever he can find, does find Hodor, and does get a pounce. There's the Orchid getting silenced, and Pig, doesn't matter, had a beautiful Dark Pact bone queued up, and now the Orchid guaranteeing that. Final, the hook flies, doesn't land on him, and there's the GG, realizing that this game has simply gone on too long.
Yeah, 17 stacks for the Slok, 18.
Victory.
Wow.
So thank you everybody for tuning into this weekly ESPL series hosted by myself, Briefcase, along with the lovely Mito. This will be our last game of the evening. Simply gotta go have dinner, what have you. And thank you so much for watching. I believe we'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. Thanks for watching, guys.